Yo, yo, yo! Welcome, World Warriors, to another episode of Doppel, aka the Die or Pass Level podcast. He may not admit it here, but he's now Team Street Fighter over Mortal Kombat. That's right. And he grew up in the woods. Say hello, everybody, to TDK. Can we confirm or deny this statement?
On the record, I hate Pizza Hut. Sega? No thanks. Gross.
A lot can happen in a week.
You have been kind of taking my hand and leading me on a journey of Street Fighter, of discovery. And then also at the same time, you've kind of been Miyagiing me into teaching my son. You in my ear, like, oh, down forward punch. I'm getting better at my mechanics and the way I think of these things. And so I've just immersed myself so much in Street Fighter lately. And I've had the pleasure of watching that 5-year-old really fall in love with it. The movie's coming out. I'm in. I'm all in.
I'm so proud. I'm just happy you came over to the Street Fighter side. I think it's, for me, the better fighting game, which is why we're spending a whole episode kind of talking about the lore. But about that in a little bit, I do want to talk a little bit about if there's any games we are currently playing, TDK, and I'll shout out mine in a sec.
I started replaying Uncharted, the last one with Chloe Fraser. It's a really short game, probably the best mechanics of the whole series, just because they're the most recent and everything's kind of fine-tuned. But also I've been doing, like I said, Street Fighter in the garage a ton, Super Street Fighter. You know how when you play versus mode, you can, I'm definitely going to butcher the way you're supposed to say it, but you can manipulate the stars, like the
handicap.
The handicap, yes, thank you. In golf terms, I give my son all the stars and I take all my stars away. And then I force myself to only do intentional moves, which might sound very pedestrian, but to like somebody who is just learning, I'm not allowed to just punch. You know what I mean?
Mashing.
Button mash.
Yeah,
like,
you just no mashing.
nothing.
Yeah.
Like I'm really trying to wrap my brain around it against the 5-year-old, which is a nice handicap of my own.
I finally just decided to go for it and buy the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. I was actually complaining to my wife the other day. I'm almost embarrassed to tell this story. My finger hurts and I can't figure out why. Magneto is historically in that game requires a lot of dexterity. Hurts your hands to practice these combos.
How much sympathy did your wife have for that situation?
Oh, zero. Are you kidding?
Yeah. She's like a professional chef. I imagine she has burnt fingertips and cuts everywhere. And you're like, honey, you have no idea how bad my thumb hurts from playing Marvel vs. Capcom.
Look, man, I dare her to land the ROM infinite loop at least once.
For sure. Totally.
Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Should we dive into what this whole episode's all about?
Let's do it. I'm excited. This is a special one.
This might be, a little deeper into the lore of fighting games than we're used to, which is why it's so special. I take great joy in sharing this with TDK and those of you who are listening. Recently, a challenge was issued by someone by the name of Mena RD in the world of Street Fighter 6. He is currently the GOAT. It's pretty unanimous that in the modern era of Street Fighter, Mena RD is currently the greatest fighting game player, or at least in Street Fighter 6, right? While at EVO Japan last year, on the home turf of said competitor, he won EVO Japan, and when he took the stage to receive his trophy, he got on the microphone and he issued a challenge to the all-time GOAT, Daigo Umehara. Now, Daigo is a Japanese Street Fighter player, long history, 3 decades of fighting game prowess, absolute legend. And Mena RD, the greatest current player, challenged Daigo Umehara, the greatest of all time, to a 1st to 10, which is like a very coveted fighting game type of rule set. And it's also what Daigo Umehara is the strongest at. He has never lost a 1st to 10 set versus some of the world's greatest.
What I'm going to need to do for myself and probably for some portion of the audience is, let's just set the scene as I understand it. I love boxing. I'm a big Muhammad Ali guy, so I'm probably going to think of this in the context of when some new challenger comes against somebody who was once untouchable. We got Mena RD, and you told us that he won EVO Japan. Now, I'm assuming EVO Japan is essentially the Super Bowl of Street Fighter fighting events. Like, there are multiple events every year. Is EVO Japan the most important event? Is it the only one? Tell us about that.
EVO Vegas for a long time was the premier fighting game tournament. There are other tournaments in the modern era that pay out more. The Evo
It's
win
like
is the one to win because that's where the most entries are. That's where the best players go. That's where you
Sure.
prove that you are actually the best in the world.
If you're a tennis player, if you're a golfer, you play the US Open, you play the British Open, you play Wimbledon, right? And Wimbledon for tennis is probably the one that's the most storied that you have to play. It's not dissimilar from that same context, right? For the layman's out there, what kind of money are they pulling down per event?
Okay, so if we're talking Evo, it's like probably up in the like 50, 60K for first place, somewhere around that. Capcom has now like added pot bonuses, and so it's a little more than what just Evo can provide. On the side of that, maybe the new Super Bowl is the Capcom Cup, fronted by Capcom, and first place for the last 3 years wins $1 million.
Not to mention social media presence, sponsorships. We got this guy, Mena RD, and he wins, but within his acceptance speech, he takes it upon himself to challenge what he says is the greatest, even though he's not saying I'm the greatest. He's saying there's still one person out there. So tell us more about Daigo.
We all know Ryu from Street Fighter. He is Ryu personified.
Is Ryu his character?
Ryu is his character most times.
So Daigo
most
fights
times.
as Ryu for the majority of his career.
For the majority of his career, he has used Ryu, which is like poetic almost because he's just also like this world warrior traveling the world quietly, humbly.
Stoic and quiet and humble.
Absolutely. A stoic and quiet soul. Everything's a learning opportunity for this guy.
It sounds like in the 90s and the early 2000s, maybe Daigo was in the position that Mena RD is now, where he was winning all of the stuff. No one can hold that title forever. No one can win these quick pinnacle tournaments all the time, every time. But there's a different thing where we have these long form tournaments, the best of 10. And even though he didn't win the world championship, no one can beat him.
Street Fighter in a best of 3 set, it can be unpredictable. In a regular tournament setting, it's best of 3. Grand finals are now usually best of 5, so there's a little more longevity and opportunity to adapt and learn your opponent. Daigo, his definite strength is gathering data and over time learning his opponent, dissecting them, and piece by piece kind of breaking them down.
It sounds to me that Daigo has used a classic Muhammad Ali trope of the rope-a-dope. So Muhammad Ali's pushing 40, 30, late 30s. George Foreman's this young man. He's like the biggest, meanest, strongest person anyone's ever seen, but he's not very fast and he doesn't have great endurance. So Muhammad Ali forces him to chase him. He sits, he learns his opponent, and over the course of 8, 9, 10 rounds, he wipes him out to the point where he flips and he becomes Daigo.
Absolutely. He also is just such a student of the game. He knows every single scenario that comes his way. It's created some of the greatest moments in fighting game, dare I say, video game history, which takes me to my first roll of footage that I like to share with you, TDK. This is one that I think even if you don't know a whole lot about video games or Street Fighter, you might have seen. This particular piece of footage supersedes the world of just fighting games. It is a video game, dare I say, pop culture moment in gaming. Evo Moment 37. It's titled that, I think, arbitrarily. It's not really the 37th moment in Street Fighter history or anything like that. It's just something.
For you, this is the first Evo moment.
This is the Evo moment.
Evo moment number 1.
Fortunately for me, I had already been into fighting games when I first saw footage of Moment 37, but I am absolutely certain that there were people all around the world who began playing Street Fighter all because of Moment 37. There are people that approach Daigo and Justin at every tournament who tell them that personally.
So what are we going to see here? What does Moment 37 consist of?
This is Justin Wong, America's greatest player of all. He's like the Daigo of the United States. Justin Wong is a legend. Japan versus USA, Street Fighter Third Strike. In Third Strike, there is a mechanic called parrying. To block a special attack, you hold back, right? That's how you block a special attack. However, if you get hit by a special attack, you lose a little bit of health. It's called chip damage. In Street Fighter Third Strike, there's a way to avoid taking damage on the ground. Instead of blocking, you look at the special attack right in the face. You dare it to hit you. You press forward You walk into it, there's a 10 frame window for you to parry, which means you have 1/6 of a second to do it. Your timing has to be 1/6 of a second good for this parry to happen, right?
Okay.
So in this clip, Daigo is down to one last hit of health.
And so if he doesn't get this 1/6 of a second parry correct, he's done.
He's done. Justin Wong, especially in this moment in time, in this era of Street Fighter, basically had it in the bag. No one even knew this level of technical skill was achievable in Third Strike yet, I don't think. He unlocked a whole new way to play Street Fighter Third Strike in this moment. What this did for fighting games and his career and just
lived on forever.
It's just eternal. It's immortal. It's why we're all here right now. Like, I'm not even joking. It's why the fighting game community exists the way it does today.
Daigo plays as Ryu. He plays as Ken. It's all kind of...
Yes, also good to note because Justin Wong is using Chun-Li. Chun-Li has a move called lightning legs. She kicks multiple times, and Daigo then is tasked with having to parry every single one of Chun-Li's lightning legs. It was literally the beginning of the fighting game community. I mean, obviously, you're watching the footage. It clearly existed before this. This footage, I remember my brother downloaded it on like LimeWire. It took forever to download. He was like, dude, check this out. I was like,
well, listen, obvious question. Why did they get rid of the parry? That's a fun mechanic.
It is a fun mechanic. It's also like, I guess, intimidating mechanic and a genre that I think felt needed simplification to bring more people into.
Too much of a change from what Street Fighter is supposed to be.
The hardcore Street Fighter players, hands down, bar none, they say it's the best Street Fighter. I never got good enough at it, but I definitely can recognize that it is the most technical, most hardcore Street Fighter out of all of them. Street Fighter 4 came out and they kind of simplified things a little bit, and Street Fighter 5 simplified it too much. And so I think Street Fighter 6, we're back, and at least in my opinion, it's come back to where it should be. Just the right amount of technical and user-friendly. But yeah, Moment 37 is why Daigo Umehara exists in the capacity that he does, and is why Mena RD could even be on stage to challenge him in the first place. It just opened the doors. This is what gave him sponsorships. This is what began the esports world for fighting games. Yeah.
And when you said he parried, that sounded very impressive, but you didn't say he parried like 100 kicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then he jumps, right? He jumps and parries one in the air. On his way down, he does a kick to start the combo and ends with a super move of his own. He was ready for this impossible scenario. Also known for winning not just Street Fighter, right? He is the only fighting game player to evolve with every iteration at such a high level.
Oh, interesting. So as the game evolved, of course, younger players come up. You can't be on top forever. But as he's taking on the new champs in these best of 10 sets across different iterations of Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2, Third Strike, 4, 5, 6, these champs are only really great and proficient at the one that they come up with.
Yeah, there's like a specialist versus a Swiss Army knife. He's as good as those people at their game and many more.
Ultimately, these best of 10s, they are exhibition matches. They're outside of the normal league of tournaments, right?
Right.
But
there is no money. There's no prize pot on the line. It's all for the glory.
Okay. And then also because they're exhibitions, they're not set every year. It's only when a proper challenger exists. Daigo, the, what do they call him? The Beast.
The Beast,
will come out of hibernation and like become the Beast again.
Exactly.
So cool.
He lost Evo to Shen. This is the first to 10 that ever occurred. He lost it to Shen, who is a Singapore player. He won Evo, cemented as the best Street Fighter player in the world at the time, right? You won Evo at a separate event. I believe it was Red Bull Kumite set up.
Time out. Yeah. Zach Morris, time out. Did you just say that one of these Street Fighter events is called the Kumite?
That's right.
Yeah. How have you not told me about this?
Yeah, it's one of the good ones, too.
The Red Bull Kumite, that's, of course, inspired by Bloodsport, right?
Yeah, like, and they fight inside of a cage.
That's very Red Bull.
First to 10, Daigo, they call him the prep time Batman. They call him the final boss. He is the Beast. He did his due diligence. He did his homework. Daigo wins 10-0.
What,
versus
from the guy that just won the World Series of Fighting that Daigo himself lost to?
Yes.
Now he doesn't lose one set?
doesn't drop a single set.
And I love that Daigo, even though he's got the whole thing dialed, finishes with the Hadouken. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I want. I just want to see the Hadouken at the very end.
We can talk about that too, because Daigo is the Hadouken master. He is the fireball god. There should be college courses on Ryu and his Hadouken habits. It's poetry in motion just to watch
That's
his
so
spacing, his timing, a symphony of plasma.
Let's flash forward to today, right? So now there's been how many of these best of 10s? A handful. He's beat every single world champion that will take him on in a best of 10. No one can beat him. And now we're in a world where right now, Mena RD said, I'm not truly the best unless I can beat Daigo in a best of 10.
And the way he approached it too, like just to give some credit to Mena, it wasn't like this challenge like I'm better than you or anything like that. It was very humble. My career would not be complete without doing this versus the greatest of all time. You are why I'm even here today.
Very Japanese.
He posted the challenge on Twitter in Japanese. Initially, there were murmurs. Some of Daigo's camp in Japan would be on podcasts talking theoretically about what they think would happen, but not really saying if Daigo has accepted. Daigo hadn't really said anything. And then I think a few weeks later, a video came out, and at the end of this Japanese video, Daigo's like looks at the camera and says, "Let's do this." And I was like, "Oh, it's happening!" Also very cool, right? We're in this new era where content is awesome. The build up to this match, I initially was like pretty excited, and in my head I was like, well, Mena's just gonna wash him. Daigo's 45 or something, and like your reaction times
Our
and
age.
and
Gross.
he's just not what he used to be, and everyone knows it. But then these videos started rolling in, ESPN style docu-series type footage of like their training
reminding the people
regimens.
of who this man is, right?
Exactly,
They're like, don't underestimate the greatest.
And Daigo says so much in the video. He's like, I like that people are counting me out. It's fueling the fire within me. I'm going to prove so many people wrong at this first to 10 set. Just wait and see. All his peers in the Japanese fighting game community, and they're in the video and they're saying like, it's going to be 10-7 Daigo. It's going to be 10-5 Daigo. Like,
But then Mena RD's people are also like, this man's washed up, this man's old, right?
right,
This
Mena
guy doesn't
RD's
have it
people,
anymore.
they're all doing the same thing. They're training, and it's
And these
really
people are like really training, right? These people are doing Rocky montage, Apollo Creeds in one corner. I imagine Mena RD is like the Russian from Rocky 4 with the state-of-the-art equipment. And Apollo is training in some like Russian snow barn, and he's doing sit-ups off the loft, full-on Rocky montage.
the training regimen. And this is cool because, like I said, content is amazing now, and I'm watching these docu-series of what they're doing. Daigo is in Japan training. The matchup is a lock. No one can switch characters. It's Akuma versus Blanca. This is what it is. Daigo is Akuma. He's like a very evil Ryu, let's say.
Okay, but he's basically playing his classic. Like, you know, he'll play
Fireball,
Ryu, he'll play Ken.
Dragon Punch.
Daigo
Yeah.
is still playing the thing he should be playing.
Daigo's
or we know
playing
him to
his
play.
kind of character. Mena RD is playing Blanca, who is very strong in Street Fighter 6, and he makes even stronger. Mena is making bank as the best player in Street Fighter in the modern era, where prize pots can be up to $1 million. He can like fund this crazy training
Anybody
regimen.
who's great at Akuma, right?
Right.
Come take me on.
Mena's got this army of the best Akumas in the world.
And Daigo probably has his own army, right?
Right. One of the coolest things I learned, and I thought this was awesome, is that Mena, because he has all these Akumas that he's fighting, and he doesn't want to start fighting versus the opponent's habits, because there are all these Akumas, but after a while he started learning the
Yes.
habits of all these other
Yeah.
Akumas. He starts putting a curtain between him and
doesn't know
whoever
who he's
is on
playing.
the other side. He doesn't know which of the 10 Akumas or whatever he's
Okay.
fighting, and he's sitting
Mena
down.
RD is taking this serious. He is not going to be humiliated. He's
Yeah,
going
he
to
is.
bring
He is not playing games, right? He says he wins 100 in a row sometimes versus these guys. I'm like, oh my God. He's a menace, right? The anticipation is building up. We'll get to the fight, but I do
Tell me
want
about
to
it.
highlight the Ume Shoryu. It's a term coined after Daigo Umehara. Daigo is so good at dragon punching and at knowing his opponent. He can just mentally break you in a match, and you can see the moment where like, oh, you're like, dude, this guy's cooked.
Those two things correspond, the dragon punch and the mental break.
Dragon punches, historically and reasonably, are very punishable. You don't just get to throw out a dragon punch. The risk reward isn't always worth it. If you miss, you're just floating in the air. They're just waiting for you to come down for maximum damage punish. But Daigo just knows. He just knows they're not going to block this one. They're about to jump. They're about to do this attack, and my dragon punch is stronger than it.
That's consistent with him being able to do a 10-match read. It's consistent with why he's so great at what he does. There's an intuition. He's playing a mental game. Everyone else is playing a mechanics game.
That's kind of the A and B of it all, right? What wins in a 1st to 10? Is it training, the rigorous unlocking of maximized damage? Or is it like Daigo's like a feeling? He's all heart, the mental chess game that he's playing. These two things are being pit together. It's like modern versus the old guard. It's all these things. So I think it's time now for us to kind of get into some of this match.
Yeah, tell me what happened. I'm so excited to know.
Again, shout out to the fighting game community because it took place in Japan. The way this thing was set up, the way it was all built up, it was a proper event. Lights, a stage, commentators left and right, videos before the match. There was undercards, but after some delays, the main event finally started. Daigo versus Mena, the most hotly anticipated fighting game match, gosh, for me, maybe ever.
How many people showed up? How many people were watching online? Millions online, right?
I don't know the exact number, but I will say that Evo Japan, the tournament that this event coincided with, is now recorded in the Guinness Book of Records as the most highest attended fighting game tournament in the history of fighting games or video games. Everyone who's anybody in the top level street fighting community was there to compete.
It is the Super Bowl of fighting games. We're at the event. The undercards are played. The tech difficulties are done. It's Daigo versus Mena RD. How does it start? What's the momentum? What happens?
The match starts. Daigo is a tactician. The fireballs are flowing. Blanca has a slide that goes under fireballs. So that's something that starts getting introduced later on in the set. But initially, Daigo throws those fireballs and landing some hits. The preparation looks to be there. And he wins the very first set.
Everyone loses their shit.
Everyone's like,
here we go again.
God, this guy is ready.
I wanted to hear that.
Yeah, just that alone, awesome. Right? Because people were saying 10-0. You were already
10-0 Mena RD.
Yes, right. So you were already shutting down the naysayers first 3 minutes of this set, right? You're like, nope, that's not happening. Daigo is here to play. I'll give you a little more. Daigo wins the second set. Oh shit!
Back to back. Is this gonna happen again?
We're like, is this a wash? Like, is Daigo really gonna do this? Right? He's just on point, landing all his hits.
So far, as you've highlighted to me, Daigo, he's back. It's like 1 set, 2 set. People are like, is he going to do it again? We didn't think he'd get anything. And now he's winning.
Daigo takes those first 2 sets. In a close third set, Mena takes his first one, and it's 2-1. Mena's starting to mount a little more offense, putting the pressure on and trying to be the person in control of the momentum.
It almost feels like Mena's doing his own trick against him. Like, he let him have the first 2. He's learning, he's watching, he's figuring out what the strategy is.
Exactly, especially in a 1st to 10 set. It's early. Yes, Daigo's in the lead, but we've got a long way to go, folks, kind of thing, right? Mena is gathering data. So is Daigo, to his credit. I will say that Mena definitely gets the advantage of... So every character has 3 supers in Street Fighter 6. There's a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3. Level 2s in Street Fighter 6 for a lot of characters have something called install supers. A lot of people, me included, don't love install supers on the receiving side of them. It buffs you. It makes you stronger for a set amount of time.
You get the star in Mario Kart.
You get the star in Mario Kart. Exactly. Blanca gets, as soon as he fills up his meter all the way to level 2, you can kind of guarantee that here comes the Mario Superstar, right? He's going to find a way to, I forget what it's called. Lightning Beast. That's right. The plot is much cooler if Daigo wins this thing. So whenever I
100%.
see Lightning Beast get unlocked, I'm just like,
You're like, come on,
man. Mena ties it up 2-2, and then Mena goes 5-2.
What?
It starts slipping away. It's not going great, man. Every 5 matches or so, they switch sides, and then Daigo bounces back. Gets 3 sets in a row. The set is 5-5. People are losing their minds, dude. Already, this thing going 5-5, no one can say anything. Like, Daigo is a competitor versus the greatest modern Street Fighter 6 player.
Rocky 1, listeners, spoilers. Probably for our demographic of people, this is actually going to be a spoiler. He loses. He wins in the sense that just finishing the fight is winning. He's a nobody going up against the world's greatest, Apollo Creed, right? The fact that Daigo, at this age, after this many years, can go this many sets and still be tied, that's a win. It's huge.
The fans were literally screaming, or like competitive players that were on Daigo's side who are typically known as like maybe being stoic. They'd cut to shots of them in the audience and you just never seen them like screaming and like losing their minds. This is beautiful. It's so cool. The set goes 5-5, and then that's when things like start slipping away though. Mena goes 9-5, and then Daigo wins one and it goes 9-6, and that's kind of where things kind of end. It goes 10-6 in favor of Mena RD.
The first in the world to ever beat Daigo in a first to 10. Even Ali lost some, dude, at the end.
Right.
If we know anything, Ray, we know that nobody's the greatest forever. Like, nothing is for keeping.
Nothing gold can
that's
stay.
That's one of the most beautiful lessons we can learn in our life. We just get to have things while we have them, and that's enough. And Daigo got to have them longer than most humans get to have anything.
He'll tell you the same thing. He also, in his promo video leading up to this fight, had said as much as, if I lose this set, I don't see why I would feel a need to return to Street Fighter. I think I'll retire if I lose.
Maybe Mena RD gave him a gift. You did
enough. You would think, right? Mena, after the match, said, what is this nonsense about you retiring? I need you to be my competitor forever. We need to keep fighting. Daigo, he's like, okay, this set actually proves to me that I still have the fire. Let's say they were at Evo in bracket. Daigo 2-0 eliminates Mena RD.
That's true.
Know? And my hope is that we see a part 2, or we see someone on Mena's side from his generation, because there are players. There's one called Punk from USA. Punk versus Mena would also be a really good set.
In a best of 10?
In a best of 10.
Maybe the baton of best of 10 GOAT is passed, and it's now Mena RDs, right?
That's what I would love to see. I think that would be beautiful to see happen if Mena's the new guy to beat, and whoever wins Evo next year challenges him to a first to 10.
That was so fun, man. I'm so jazzed up. I'm so Rocky montaged up right now.
I'm about to hurt my fingers playing a little Street Fighter after this, after that one.
I'm about to go destroy a 5-year-old in my garage on Street Fighter.
Won't see what's coming. You won't see what's coming. That kind of tells the tale of the tape, as they say, in the saga of Daigo's very long and storied history of first to 10s. We didn't even cover like his match with Tokido, but safe to say that he was an unstoppable force, but time isn't always the kindest, and it's time for the new generation.
Listen, I have an idea. I think we have to make it a Christmas tradition, or whatever holiday you want to choose, but Christmas seems apropos. I think Uncle Ray needs to come over to my house. I'm going to start a fire, and you need to tell our kids the story of the legendary Daigo, the story of the beast. You can tell them one best of 10 story per year, and we'll stop when they're 20.
The Beast and the Bull is a great children's book waiting to be published.
There we go.
Patent pending. Don't even try it, listeners. It's mine.
It's going to be the first Doppel published book.
Unless you have any additional questions, I'm happy to answer. I think we've kind of wrapped it up in a nice little bow. The next time a challenge gets issued, you better believe that I'll be here to let our listeners know. I'm so glad that you guys have let me sit here and tell you the story.
What a journey, Ray. Thank you. That was fun.
All right, fighters. You guys know the drill. Make sure to like and follow. Leave us a comment. Talk to us. Give us 5 stars on Spotify or Apple. That goes a long way. TDK, any last words before we hit reset on this one?
No, man. I think it's time for me to get back in those woods and start my training montage. I'll see you guys out there.
Kumite. Kumite. All right, guys. We'll see you at the next one. Peace out.
That was fun, dude.
Hey everybody, it's Ray here. Just wanted to thank you for tuning into the Dire Pass Level podcast. If you want to hang out and join us for the next episode, make sure to like and subscribe. That way you're notified when our next episode releases. If you really, really, really liked it, you'd do us a solid if you left us a review. Reviews are a great way to spread the word about our podcast, and the more gamers to share these stories with, the better. All right, we'll see you next week. Have a good one. There we go.